Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day, your week, and your weekend have been going very well so far. Week 3 of the NFL season is officially upon us, and with that comes another edition of Sunday Night Football. Got a matchup here between two 0-2 teams, both still searching for their first win of the season. We have Chiefs taking on the New York Giants in New Jersey. And as always, guys, I've got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. And make sure, guys, to stick around to the end of today's video. Every single Sunday Night Football picks video I do here on the channel, we do our Anytime Touchdown giveaway. The rules are very simple. I'll give you guys an Anytime Touchdown player prop. You comment the name of that player, and if that player scores a touchdown, one lucky commenter wins a free $25 Amazon gift card. It's that easy. It's that simple. All you have to do is comment the name of the player I give, and if he scores a touchdown, one lucky commenter will win a free $25 Amazon gift card. All right, guys, we're wasting absolutely no time in today's video. We're going to jump right into the picks. I have 4 picks in today's video. I have a spread pick and 3 player props. Definitely a player prop heavy video, but I do like a lot of props in this spot. So for our first pick in today's video, we're going to talk about the spread pick here. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs minus 5.5. Jump over the outlier screen and talk about this a little bit. I'm grabbing this for minus 112 over on Novig. It's the best odds available to me. But as always, for a lot of these picks, guys, it's available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Make sure to always shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. So Kansas City minus 5.5. And I'm going to be completely honest, I'm just not overthinking this game all that much. I think we're getting a lot of value, a discounted value on the Chiefs due to the fact that they're 0-2. They are still the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they're definitely weakened. The problems they have are real problems. This is not just something that's going to go ahead and fix itself. Now, I guess it kind of will because Rashee Rice is coming back. Xavier Worthy will be back. So those will help things. But this has been a problem for the Chiefs for a few years now. Their offense has been on a steady decline because the weapons around Mahomes, they're just not all that great. With Rice back and with Worthy back, the offense will be better, but I think their offense has been struggling for a couple of years now. They're not terrible when they have all their pieces, but they're not what the Chiefs used to be back in the Tyreek Hill days when they first got started on this dynasty. But if you watch every big-time platform with the talking heads and people talking sports and talking about the Chiefs, everybody is talking like the sky is falling. This Chiefs team reminds me of the 2019 Patriots, the year after they won their last Super Bowl when Gronk retired for the first time. Brady, they were still a decent team. They could still win games. They had a strong start that year, unlike this Chiefs team. But Brady just didn't have the pieces around him. The weapons were not good enough. The defense was still good. The coaching was still there. Brady himself was still good, but the pieces around him were not great. This very much feels like that team. Travis Kelce, still a decent weapon, but he's definitely a shell of what he used to be. And the rest of the team, Isaiah Pacheco, inconsistent as a running back. The rest of the receiver, Tyquan Thornton is third on this team in target share. That's crazy. Tyquan Thornton, a Patriot reject. Speaking of the Patriots. All that being said, though, I still like the Chiefs in this spot because it's the New York Giants, guys. Let's not overthink this. The script is written. It's right there. It's so easy to see. The Chiefs are 0-2. Everybody's crapping on them. No one trusts this team anymore. Their Chiefs are done. A lot of people are saying they're going to miss the playoffs. And then they get to play the New York Giants in prime time with the whole world to see, Sunday Night Football. If you don't think Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to capitalize on this spot, win this game, and shut up the haters, and I'm not a Chiefs guy, I'm a Patriots guy. I want this Chiefs run to end. But let's be honest, this is teed up perfectly for the Chiefs here. Everyone's doubting them. You get the New York Giants, who I know they're coming off a game where they did give the Cowboys a scare, and Russell Wilson did look pretty good for the most part in that game. This is still the New York Giants. This defense is not as good as it's supposed to be. The pass rush is still fine, but their overall defense isn't great. And offensively, they've got some issues. Looking at the right side of the screen here, some of the numbers on the season for the New York Giants. Like I said, tied for 26th in scoring defense. They gave up 40 points to the Cowboys last week. And then the week before that, week 1, they gave up 21 points to the Commanders. So this is not a great defensive team. They were supposed to be a great lockdown defense. They haven't really been that. Now, the one thing that has been solid, and this was projected, is the pass rush. You see right here, they're tied for 8th in the NFL. in terms of sacks per game, 3 sacks per game, top 10 in QB hits, 11th in QB hurries, tied for 11th in tackles for loss. All of that was to be expected. But the rest of the numbers are very much concerning. They're not forcing a lot of turnovers, okay? 28th in yards per play. That's not great. 32nd. They are the worst team in the NFL in terms of rushing yards allowed. Bottom 5 in passing yards allowed. Last in first downs per game. 31st in red zone efficiency. These are not good numbers. And although the Chiefs' offensive numbers, they're not great either, when you put that Chiefs offense against this Giants defense, the Chiefs are going to look better. The other thing I failed to mention when talking about the Chiefs is they played 2 really tough games. They had the Chargers in an international game in Brazil, and then followed that up by taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that spanked them in the Super Bowl a year ago. So they've had a brutal start in terms of who they've played. And you know what? To their credit, as bad as the Chiefs have looked, they've only lost both of those games by 1 score. They lost by 6 to the Chargers and 3 to the Eagles. Both of those games, despite as poorly the Chiefs played, were winnable ball games up until the very end. So for all the people saying the Chiefs are done, maybe put a pin in that, because I think this team, despite their inefficiencies and despite some of the weaknesses they have, they are still a well-coached team. They still have, I love Josh Allen, but I think Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL today. Not trying to glaze him, but I'm just being honest. I've seen him do a lot of crazy things in his career. Him and Allen are very close. It's like a 1A, 1B thing, but Mahomes is still great, okay? They're well coached. They got Mahomes. The defense is still solid. They still have enough offensively where they can get by until they get some reinforcements from the return of Worthy, who, by the way, is a game-time decision for this game, so they might have him back for this matchup, and obviously when Rashee Rice returns from his suspension. But this Giants defense is not that great. And then you look at their offense, and their numbers are going to be a little inflated because Russell Wilson threw for almost 500 yards against the Cowboys. I think that has way more to say about the current state of the Cowboys defense than I necessarily think it does the Giants offense. Because you saw in week 1 against the Commanders, just 6 points in that game, not all that great. They have some legitimate offensive line issues. That much is for sure. And having a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson behind that bad line, I don't know if that's going to be a great thing for them, especially here. Don't believe me, the Kansas City Chiefs right now tied for first in the NFL for strength of schedule with the Saints and the Texans. Both the teams they played are 2-0 so far this year. So strength of schedule, the Chiefs have had a very tough start to the year. The Eagles, obviously, the NFC favorite to go to the Super Bowl. And the Chargers, honestly, putting their hat in the ring for being a Super Bowl contender in the AFC. But again, I think Kansas City, they're not a great team anymore. They're still a good team, though, and I just think this Giants team is genuinely bad. This spot, honestly, at the end of the day, is a little bit more about fading the Giants than it is taking the Chiefs. Although I do think Kansas City will roll in this spot. I just do not trust this Giants team one iota. And one little stat that I want to share with you guys that Outlier actually provided that's very, very nice to see. The New York Giants are 3-10. That's a 23.1% hit rate against the spread in their last 13 games as an underdog. So this line, this bet, betting against the New York Giants, cashes 77% of the time. To simplify that, the favorites are 10-3 in the last 13 games against the New York Giants. So taking the Chiefs here, statistically speaking, is the smart play. Sunday Night Football, lights will be shining bright, cameras will be on them. The Chiefs will go ahead and take care of business, winning this game by at least a touchdown. Taking -5.5, really great line. You're getting a discount because of the state of the Chiefs right now, but I think Kansas City, with all the cameras on them, will roll in this game. And for my first of 3 player props in today's video, I'm going with Travis Kelce over 44.5 receiving yards. And I know a lot of you guys in the comments are going to rush and say, this guy's a Chiefs homer, he's betting the Chiefs, he's got Kelce, this guy probably loves Taylor Swift. I don't mind her. Travis Kelce over 44.5 receiving yards is a great play from a statistical spot, from a matchup spot, so let's talk about it real quick. I'm not really looking at the last 10 data because obviously it goes back to last season. Just looking at this year so far through 2 games, he's cashed the over in both games this season, averaging 54 receiving yards per game. He had 47 yards versus the Chargers, 61 yards versus the Eagles. Again, that's the Chargers defense and the Eagles defense. Definitely a step up from the Giants defense. And as much as I think Kelce is a shell of himself, he still is pretty much, besides Hollywood Brown, the only reliable thing the Chiefs have. So yes, he's not what he used to be, but he's still one of the most important players in the offense who's going to get a healthy amount of looks, especially in this spot. Looking down below, the Chiefs actually been throwing the ball more than running, which obviously speaks to the state of their running game, which has been a little inconsistent here. They have a 63% pass rate so far this year, which is above league average. So they are throwing the ball a healthy amount despite the lack of weapons Obviously, they've been trailing in some of these games, so that also adds to the reason as to why they have to throw the football. Travis Kelce right now, second in target share, only 10 targets through 2 games, but he's making the most of those targets. It's a 14.9% target share, and I expect in a game like this, you could see him get even more targets. So, looking at the 2 games, he had 4 targets versus the Chargers. He only had 2 catches in that game, but still cashed the over. And then versus the Eagles, 6 targets, 4 receptions, and again, cashed the over. So I do look at that. I think he's going to get some more looks in this game than he did the last 2 games. Average yards per reception, 19.4. That's obviously very good. 15.3 last week, 23.5. So he's catching some longer passes, which is obviously is very, very good for us here. So, and then the key thing here, look at the right side of the screen here. Up top, the right side of the screen, receiving yards allowed per game. The New York Giants are giving up 297 yards per game to opposing teams. That is bottom 5 in the NFL. And if we narrow that down versus tight ends, the Giants bottom 11. They're 21st in the NFL, giving up 53.5 receiving yards per game through 2 weeks to the tight end position. So that's, Zach Ertz for the Commanders, and then for the Cowboys, Jake Ferguson. I think Travis Kelce, you can make the pretty strong case he's better than both those guys. So I think Travis Kelce should go ahead and get this over. And one last data point before we move on to the next player prop here. Travis Kelce has exceeded 44.5 receiving yards in 7 consecutive games versus bottom 10 defenses for receiving yards allowed. He's averaging 74.7 receiving yards per game against bottom 10 defenses for receiving yards allowed. So pretty good numbers. Obviously, the Giants bottom 10, clearly in bottom 5 in receiving yards allowed for minus 114 odds on FanDuel, or also available on Novig for minus 119. The value is certainly there. All right, guys, very quickly, before we finish up with our final 2 player props in today's video, I want to talk to you real quick about the sponsor of today's video, Novig. If you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. Why? Because it is other users setting the lines, setting the odds. You're competing with other users, not the big books. Peer-to-peer is growing at a crazy rate, and you don't want to be late to this. Sign up for Novig today using the link in the description, as well as in the pinned comment, and you'll get a nice sign-up bonus of up to $50 as well. Make sure to go ahead and check it out. It operates just like a normal sports book, but with better lines. So one more time, make sure to go ahead and check out that link, whether in the description or the pinned comment. If you sign up today, you can get up a nice sign-up bonus up to $50 as well. So make sure to go ahead and check that link down below in the description or the pinned comment. All right, 2 player props. Let's go ahead and finish off this video. Next up, we got Patrick Mahomes over 266.5 passing plus rushing combo. We're grabbing that from minus 113 over on DraftKings, but also available on FanDuel for minus 114. He's cashed this in 6 of his last 10 games, averaging 266.4 passing plus rushing yards per game over the last 10. That, of course, dates back to last season. Overall this year, he's cashed it in 1 of 2. In the week 1 game versus the Chargers, he had 258 passing yards and 57 rushing yards. In week 2 versus the Eagles, he just missed the mark by about 13-14 yards. He had 66 rushing yards, but only 187 passing yards. Until the Chiefs get all their weapons back, Mahomes has to put on the Superman cape and take a little extra initiative here. Obviously, with the rushing yards, you see he's been running a little bit more the first couple weeks. He's got to go ahead and add some extra rushing yards in this game as well. But I expect his passing yards will be a lot higher, closer to what he did week 1 versus the Chargers. Obviously, the Eagles' defense a little stronger than the Giants. As we talked about time and time again in this video, like I said, the Giants right now really in the bottom of the barrel in terms of passing yards allowed and rushing yards allowed per game. I expect Mahomes to have a pretty good statistical performance in tonight's matchup. And then you also have the insight provided by Outlier. Patrick Mahomes has exceeded 266.5 passing plus rushing yards in 4 of his last 5 games versus bottom 10 defenses for passing yards allowed, averaging 280.2 passing plus rushing yards per game. Again, he mostly cashes this in just the passing yards portion, but we're putting the combo in there just in case he gets a little close and the rushing yards can kind of get us to that total. All right, guys, and our 4th and final pick in today's video is our anytime touchdown player prop, and we're going with Hollywood Brown of the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, very Chiefs-heavy picks here. I really like Kansas City. Obviously, I know the risks involved if the Chiefs come out and lay a stinker. All of these picks could be in rough shape, but I really do trust the Chiefs in this spot. Hollywood Brown, anytime touchdown. I'm grabbing it available for me. Plus 193 over on Novig. So again, you might want to go ahead and check out the link down below in the description, the sponsor of today's video. Plus 193 odds over on Novig. It is available on a number of different sports books for varying odds. So a lot of ways to go ahead and tail this bet. So go ahead and comment Hollywood down below, or his full name, Hollywood Brown, whatever you guys prefer. And if he scores a touchdown, one lucky commenter will win a free $25 Amazon gift card. Now, overall, the New York Giants this year, 25th in the NFL, giving up 3.5 touchdowns per game on average. Versus wide receivers, they are bottom 10 in the league, ranking 22nd, giving up 1.5 touchdowns per game to the wide receiver position. Now, through 2 weeks, Hollywood Brown does not have a touchdown for the Chiefs. That just means, guys, he's definitely due here. I showed you guys earlier the target share. He's by far the most targeted receiver in this offense, 21 targets. He currently owns a 31.3% target share for this Chiefs offense. That's obviously very, very good. Mahomes trusts him a lot, especially with Xavier Worthy banged up. He's going to Hollywood Brown consistently and often in these spots. The other key thing here is the red zone targets. Now, again, he doesn't have a touchdown yet this year, but he has the most red zone targets of the team. Now, granted, it's a small sample size, but 3 red zone targets, it's a 50% target share in the red zone. That's obviously very good. So when you mix the target share, the red zone target share, and the defensive matchup, it kind of all points to Hollywood Brown being a very good pick here. Now, normally for a receiver with that type of production, or I should say target share, you'd expect this line to maybe be a little bit lower, but we're getting pretty good value because he hasn't scored a touchdown in a hot minute. So he's more than due. Everything kind of points to him being a really good pick in this spot for plus 193. I think the value is certainly there. So that's our 4th and final pick in today's video. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back next week with another Sunday Night Football picks video. Until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Make sure to go ahead and check out all the content on the channel. We have a ton of great stuff out between H to H. We've got my NFL weekly picks. We got Evs. We got trades. Everything should be out on the channel by this point. And we will also be going live on Sunday morning with some more player prop action. So make sure to tune in for that, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be going live, going through all the player props that you can possibly imagine. So, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys, let's go ahead and make some money on a Sunday, baby. Let's go. Shirts available over at Fade Me Store. Let's go.